It happened. Dead by Daylight 2 has been announced. You don't need to buy a new game, you don't need to grind from scratch, you don't even need to upgrade your system. Dead by Daylight 2 is actually the upcoming patch 6.1, but you need to trust me, this is the most massive change to the entire game you ever saw. So many perks and mechanics have been reworked, I'm sure YouTube will be flooded with long videos talking about all of them, but here what I'm gonna show you are the top 10 most unexpected changes to the game. Hello, my name is Nobside and let's start. Number 10. Nerf Ruin. This was in the air, but the nerf to X Ruin is just crazy. Instead of a 200% regression to generators, it will now only apply the normal 100% speed. Not only that, once a survivor dies, Ruins gets permanently deactivated. While Ruin getting destroyed in a 3 vs 1 scenario seems like a good choice, the decreased regression speed will definitely make this perk much weaker, if not worthless, in high-level games. Number 9. Eruption on steroids. Currently, Eruption regresses a generator by 6% and incapacitates survivors working on the affected generators for 16 seconds. In the upcoming patch, these numbers have been buffed to 10% and a massive 25 seconds. I'm particularly excited by the latter change. There will be plenty of time to hook a survivor after downing them and then reach the affected generator to prevent its completion. Something tells me that eruption usage is gonna erupt. Number 8. Baseline borrow time. We all know the pain of being farmed by eager survivors without borrow time. This shouldn't be an issue anymore, because after the Anuk we'll always have at least 5 seconds of endurance effect, basically a mini borrow time. Not only that, but Behavior added a 7% haste effect to the Anuk survivor for the same amount of time, meaning you'll be able to run faster to safety, especially if the killer really wants to eat you anyway. Number 7. We're gonna swift forever. We're gonna live forever at the moment gives a 100% increased speed in healing down survivors. Soon, if you have a token on the perk, when you heal them, they also get the endurance effect for 10 seconds. 10 seconds! Did it ever happen to you to hit a survivor just rescued from the ground only to discover they had Soul Guard? Well, welcome to the new Swift world pretty soon. Oh boy. Number 6. Spine Shield. As a survivor, I always loved Spine Shield. As a killer, it was an annoyance, but you could work around that. But apparently Behavior was of the opinion that it was used too much, so they changed it. The perk now doesn't give you anymore a 6% increase in action speed when active. Also, there's a lingering effect on the activation of the perk, meaning that you won't be updated in real time when the killer stops looking in your direction. Pretty bad, I really relied on that, especially because... But wait, there's more! Spine Chill now activates only if there is a direct line of sight between you and the killer. Basically, Spine Chill now tells you, yep, it's a killer. Indoor maps? Forget about Spine Chill working like ever. I'm not very thrilled about this change, I gotta be honest here. Number 5. Dead Harder. This perk change is bound to be extremely controversial. First of all, no more little sprint forward when used. Nope, you'll just run normally. However, for 1 second if the killer hits you, you'll get the endurance status effect. Again, basically the borrow time effect. In a way, this might even be considered a buff, because the killer will have no way to bait a dead hard. They just don't know if you did use it already or not. Also, 1 second is a decently long time to still reach that window you really need to vault. However, what if you play against Legion? Or Death Slinger? What if you are getting tunneled off the hook? In these cases, you'll already have the endurance status effect active, meaning your dead art is now worthless until you fully mend. Maybe the dart is still hardly dead, but if I were you, I would start to learn how to effectively use Overcome. Number 4, Kick the Journey. If you ever watch my stream, and if you don't, what the heck are you waiting for? Go and leave me a follow right yesterday. You know how much I hate to kick generators. It's mostly a waste of time by itself. Oh, not anymore, Deo gracias. Every time we kick a generator, it will instantly regress by 2.5%, which equals to 2 seconds and a quarter. Basically the amount of time needed to kick it. It might seem trivial, but you need to consider 2 things. 1, no more survivors stepping the gen under your nose, or they'll just allow you an additional regression for free. 2, this will be the perfect synergy with all perks that require you to kick generators. Time to make your boots shine. They'll be working overtime in the upcoming month. Number 3, oof, the record. I had to go look what Off the Record did as a perk. That's how much I cared about it so far. As a quick recap, after you get a nuke, the perk activates for 80 seconds, making you completely silent when injured and masking your aura to the killer. Meh, right? Well, now, other than that, you also get the endurance status effect if hit while injured. Yes, for the full 80 seconds duration. The caveat is that this effect will be disabled with the same condition of the current DS deactivation. Working on generators, cleansing totems, healing, nuking. In other words, every meaningful action to progress the game. Whatever. It's still 80 freaking seconds of being able to bait the killer attention. I lose my mind because of this perk, I already know it, oh my lord. Number 2, Borrowed Buff. Now, given the baseline mini borrow time, given Off the Record, given the fact that borrow time is by far one of the most used perks in the game, given that every other meta perk has been nerfed, what were you expecting for borrow time? For me it was something like you can use it only twice per game, or maybe a decreased time from 12 seconds to 8. Nope! Now, instead of granting the endurance status effect for 12 seconds, BT will give you 15 seconds. Which means there's no way a survivor will not get to a pallet or vault after being nuked before you hit them. But what if they are really no man's land? I mean, certain maps are... I said nope! Because survivors will also get a 7% haste effect, again for the full 15 seconds. If behavior plan was, as it explicitly was, to see less people using borrow time, well, I'm telling you, everyone will run it now. In a Swift at least. As a solo, maybe Off the Record could be better, but nah, let's just use borrow time. What could beat these crazy changes and get the number 1 spot, you might ask? Before finding out, let me tell you about some notable mentions. Pharmacy will now give you a medkit from a box every time you are injured, not just once per trial. Scourgeook Gift of Pain will give a massive repair speed slowdown to affected survivors of 16%, which is crazy when compared to the current 9% debuff. Tinker gets the Merciless Storm treatment and can activate only once per generator. Bye bye Toxic Blight coming to my freaking gen every time I'm almost done. And now, for the most crazy, ridiculously strong, overwhelmingly welcome, especially by me, and moderately upsetting change for survivors, number 1, Overcharge. In a lot of my previous videos I showed how Overcharge is a massively underrated perk. The difficult skill check it gives is actually pretty difficult, and a 5% instant regression on failing it is nothing to laugh at. Well, now Overcharge has another effect. After kicking a gen, it will start regressing quicker by the second. up to a 400% regression speed after 30 seconds. 30 seconds is a long time, of course, but remember that every time you kick a gen, you instantly regress it by 2.5%. If they fail a skill check, it's already 7.5%. And if you kick it again, it's 10%. Survivors will be pretty scared to instantly tap an overcharged generator, which gives time for the perk passive effect to grow and grow and grow. And did I mention Colobrine stacks with this? Oh, I mean, we still don't know it, but if that is the case, as I really think that it will be, we will see some very upset survivors around the world for the upcoming months. And this is all, my top 10 most unexpected changes for the next patch. Do you agree with me? Do you think I missed something? Let me know in the comments, leave a thumb down if you think I'm crazy and subscribe for more content. And if you want to talk about this in person, come and join me on Twitch. We'll be live praying for the patch to drop as soon as possible, and well, I still need to kill Malenia on Elden Ring, by the way.